Love and marriage goes together like a horse and carriage. This I tell your brother, you can't have one without a... That's it.
There. I wonder how many people know that's Frank Sinatra.
Oh, that's why I love it.
I know. I was like, even I was a little surprised when I first realized it was Frank's.
How can you not hear it?
No, you could hear it, but you don't realize it because I think a lot of people grew up on Married with Children and then listening to that. And then you can't picture Frank. I don't know how they worked that deal or whatever, how that worked, but that's a different story.
It couldn't be done today, that's for sure.
No.
Too politically correct.
Oh, it's a joke. Carlo, welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Busy.
That's what we were talking about just before the mic.
Yep.
Let me do the shout out. So I got Fieldstone hoodie on. Thanks so much, Clint. It's actually a comfy hoodie, and we're in hoodie weather right now anyway. So I do love it. I've got Carlo. How do you pronounce the last name?
Di Renzo.
Di Renzo. Electrician, Effect Electrical Ltd. And you can reach him at carlo@effectelectric.com and on Instagram, Effect Electric Ltd. 13 years Sparky.
On my own, yeah.
On your own, but you were working with somebody else before then?
Yeah.
Just to get all your hours or get set up?
I started in 98.
How young are you?
42.
Okay. So, okay. All right.
So 98, right out of high school. Started the apprenticeship, got licensed in 2005, and then got my master's in 2008.
Nice. How was that whole process?
It depends on the direction that you go. The avenues for being a Sparky are endless.
You can work anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but there's so many different avenues, and if you don't pick the right avenue, you're stuck in that avenue.
For a while?
For forever.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, the great thing is I started day one with no knowledge in construction, on a construction site, commercial.
So right out of high school, onto a construction site.
Yeah.
Nobody in the family?
Nobody in the family.
Why'd you choose electrical and construction?
I loved wiring since I was a little kid.
Okay, so you're the first in the family tree to get into this industry.
That I know of at the time.
Okay.
Right. And then...
how was that first week?
Pretty rough, actually, because I witnessed a pretty bad accident the first week I started the trade.
Electrical accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So...
it involved burnt flesh or what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so, fuck. I really don't want to hear it.
But... Well, long story short, there was 13 apprentices that started on this job site.
Yeah.
And after the first week of that happening, I think there was 5 of us left standing.
Everybody saw it?
Everyone saw it and said, I'm out.
Commercial?
Yeah.
Fuck, I really don't want to hear it because I already know what happened.
No, yeah, very bad ending.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not the first time.
Right? Yeah.
So, but yeah, it
was.
So
that's your first week?
My first
intro.
week. First week intro onto a construction site because I had no knowledge of even being on a construction site with different trades.
Okay.
Right. So it was pretty good. It was a very important learning section of my apprenticeship. You learn from when the building goes up. Right? Yep. 7 years of doing commercial construction. And then,
but in all respect, you needed those years, right?
100%.
Like if you didn't, you wouldn't be the electrician you are today if it wasn't for those years.
It definitely applies to a greater advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. If you start off from resi, that's a whole different electrical field to get into.
Yeah.
But if you start off in commercial, in my opinion, resi's a walk in the park after you've learned commercial.
I've heard the same thing.
Different materials, obviously different rules. But then it goes for the same thing for industrial. If you start in industrial, you don't know commercial or residential. So I think the best globe of learning is commercial.
Commercial. Start on commercial.
So I started there.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of got it after 8 years of saying, okay, now I want to build like main MCs in commercial buildings. Well, there's a lot of politics involved with that. Guys who have 20 years experience get to do that kind of work.
Seniority?
Oh, yeah. Union, right?
And okay.
Right?
All right.
So a lot of politics. So I fought for like a good 3 years. Finally got the opportunity. Did that for about 3 years.
I got a question about that. The union.
Huh.
How does the union expect?
I left.
Okay. So how does the union expect you to learn if they don't let you touch?
Politics.
But you're not touching.
And that's the biggest problem that I find right now with everyone who's younger than me, who follows my Instagram. They ask me, how did you learn this? And how did you learn that? And I know exactly where they're stuck. And I tell them how to do it. But it's.
So you got to
You got to go
bend the rules.
No. Just got to go to your boss, politely ask them, say, I want the opportunity. Okay. And if they say no, we hired you for just, pulling wires and tying in, then what I did, you quit and you go find a company who's willing to give you that opportunity.
A non-union company?
No.
A union company.
It can still be union.
Okay.
They just might need that person, right? And a little bit of lying. You definitely you can't go in there saying you have no experience. So I did, fidget a little, hoping that I could do it, and I did.
But you carried your own when you actually got the opportunity.
100%. Like
Right.
that's your opportunity. If I failed, then you know your answer.
But at least when you're telling them or you're looking for the work, you got to be confident as well as you got to know the shit.
100%.
You can't just be confident and cocky and then express, yeah, I'll get it, but then you're given the opportunity, you fuck it up.
Well, that, and you don't go in saying, I want to build it by myself. Start off with saying, I want to work with the journeyman who is building it. Yeah. Give me a year under his wing to help him. So there's always, no one ever does anything by themselves.
Yeah.
So you ask to be part of the team building the main electrical rooms on a commercial building.
So did you leave the union to start your own business?
No.
Okay.
I left the union because of politics.
Politics, right? Yeah. There's never politics in you.
Everywhere. Everywhere, right? So
I guess it depends on the day of the week if I like or dislike you.
It hasn't changed. I still have all my friends.
Okay,
has
good.
not changed 20 years later.
So that's good.
The politics are still there.
No, I thought it meant the friends.
Oh, the friends are still there. We still keep in contact.
But the politics
with a couple.
hasn't changed.
Politics has not changed.
So they haven't evolved.
Not from
they
what I
will
can
never
tell.
evolve.
Not from what I can tell. There's a lot of
someone just sent me a message right now. Obviously, this show is going to get posted not exactly when we're airing it or when we're recording it. Mm-hmm. There's a rail strike happening soon, so that's going to affect a lot of infrastructure.
I remember when I was in the union and strike time was coming up, and they would, all your lead hands would tell you what to vote for because you're only 18. You don't even understand what that stuff means yet.
So I'm not a union guy. I'm not going to make the show about the union. I'm not going to make the show about politics. Right?
No, it's got its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
But personally, in my opinion, it didn't work for me.
Wouldn't it be in the best interest of the union to just do a constant negotiating, I guess, during the process? Mm-hmm. And both sides get to a happy place instead of having to get to the very end of it and go F you and go back and we're going to strike, we're going to strike. And we're going Why not try to come to a medium ground the whole time that it's going on?
Why don't you tell Doug Ford in the school
I
teachers
don't
about
know.
that?
Well, that's what I mean.
It's the same song and dance with everything.
Every union that's what it is. It's almost like they're always brought to a fight point. Yep. And a fight doesn't work out. It just, I'm going to beat you up today and you're going to beat me up tomorrow. And it's going to go back and forth for the longest time.
And no one's telling the truth. If you're looking on the outside in, you got to believe.
But we forget who's in the middle.
Oh,
so
they don't care.
The tradespeople in that situation, the kids in the other situation. Mm-hmm. So, don't forget the middle, the core, the little person.
Yep.
Right? And I don't understand. So why I'm disappointed at unions for letting this happen on their end, but I'm also disappointed on the other side for letting this happen on the other end. Mm-hmm. That it shouldn't get to this point. You guys are, the purpose of your job is to not let it get to this point, but you do.
I mean, some people justify it with their reasonings. Mine are different. If they think they need more money, I personally think we get paid enough.
You think the electricians right now are getting paid just enough?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on, man.
They're not under. I'm asking.
You can use the argument of cost of living is higher, and that's why they need more. But in a general scope, I mean,
they're making good money.
I personally think we're getting paid well.
Yeah,
and I'm not
for the work that you're delivering, for sure.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people enter it.
And that's the wrong reason, though. So that's what I find out about getting apprentices, especially now. So
who's telling them that?
Well, I'll give you an example. My whole family comes from Canada Post. They're posties.
Okay.
I was next. I was 16.
Okay.
And you get in there with seniority and working Christmas time, and then once you get enough hours, they hire you full time. Well, I got the full time position. It lasted a week.
Didn't like it.
Oh, I walked through those doors and I literally saw my mom and dad going there for 40 years, and I'm like, I can't do this for the next 40 years. This isn't me.
Zombie land.
Yep. So, and great pay, right? If it's about the money.
Great pension, great everything.
This is 1996. My starting pay was $24.50.
Wow.
Right? So I told my mom, I'm quitting to become an electrician. She's like, how much does it pay? I'm like, $8.50. She started crying.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't do it for the money. Like I didn't know how well the trade paid until I was already in it.
Okay.
my journeyman showed me his paycheck on our first payday. And I was like, that's how much you guys make? And I was impressed at the time.
But you were making $8.50 starting.
Yeah. First year apprentice, it was $8.50.
But you're still learning.
And it was brutal work, though.
What is it? Just feeding? Just
no, digging trenches.
Oh, okay. All that stuff.
All the groundwork.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a brutal time. My first two and a half years. Yeah. It was
just to get that apprenticeship sticker off your back kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the new guys come up and then you get bumped up, right?
Yeah.
So they start getting the groundwork, but different times. Like the stuff they did to us back then, they don't do now.
Is there a shortage of guys coming into electrical?
It depends how you ask it. There's plenty of guys who want the opportunity because of the pay. But is there a shortage of guys who want to be electricians? Hell yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a different person here, right?
Yeah.
So there's a shortage of people that actually want to be good electricians, and then you've got too many guys going in here thinking that they could be making six figures in the first 2 years.
And they don't realize how dangerous it is.
It's a dangerous job.
Crazy dangerous.
If you don't know your stuff, if you don't know your stuff, and I've
seen so much, man. If you're doing it for the paycheck, the wrong reason.
How many years did you do commercial?
I'd say 8 years in construction commercial.
Okay.
Probably another 8 years in service commercial.
Okay.
And then the rest on my own with what I do.
So that's a big chunk of time.
Yeah.
And then 13 years on your own.
13 years on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Running a business.
Yeah, full time. I'd say 11 years. Like full time on my own. 11. I opened it in 13. Still kind of worked before I let it go.
How many employees?
Now, 2 full time, 1 part time.
1 part time. And then you're tackling what? You're doing
crazy jobs.
All commercial? No, you're doing all resi, but you're also doing.
I'm a service company.
Okay.
So I like to fix other people's problems.
So you're not doing complete new builds?
Not construction.
Not construction.
I will if it's for a customer, a service customer who I've had, and they build a new building, I will do the construction for them.
And you like it that way?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Less headache?
Pros and cons. Like my personality, I like to do a bit of everything, and that makes me happy. I'm not going to do something just because it pays well, and then I'm going to be miserable every day. So I do a bit of everything.
So how are the kids coming up that you're working with now, or you're actually looking at and pulling? They're bad?
They're bad, man.
Like, let's talk skills. They're bad?
Oh, man. I'm pretty aggressive. I got brought up old school, and my apprenticeship was old school, so that's how I am.
So let's just, like, you got yelled at.
Oh, yeah.
You got shit thrown at you.
Yep.
You made mistakes and you got yelled at.
Yep. Tools getting thrown off the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Okay. All
right. And now when you ask them to grab a socket set and they ask, what's that? True story. True story. I'm like, didn't you ever help your father fix your bicycle when you were a kid? Like, these things don't happen anymore.
Doesn't know what a socket set is?
No. Swear to God. Swear to God.
Young kid?
Yep.
Wow.
19, 20.
Doesn't know what a socket set is.
Didn't know what a socket set was.
Did he come from schooling? Or is he just
straight from high school?
Straight from high school.
Straight from high school. But like, it feels like they missed a part that we normally do with our dads when we're young. They don't know the basics. Like, I'm the basics.
I'm just assuming that there's probably more dads that are not doing anything.
Yeah, that's another reason too, and
so
that's why
it's not being taught.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like we got to start at the basics when I get these guys.
So how do we like? I know that it depends on the city that you're in, or all over the country, or even in the U.S. Like whether or not your high school has any kind of teaching trade.
Well, that could
shop
be
class.
That could be the reason too. They've cut back on our mechanic shops, and wood shops were completely different from what they are now. Yeah. A lot of them don't even offer all the options that we had. No. I think that has to do with it too.
But as kids, were you not like, I remember being a kid.
Curious.
And I was given a really cheesy little kid hammer, screwdriver, little double door opening thing. It's got all the, like, I mean, I had a sense of it.
Yeah.
Was what, right?
But we didn't have the option to be thrown into a room playing Fortnite all day.
True.
Right?
That's another thing. Or social media and all this other crap. Yeah.
Just only outside fixing our bicycles, making them better.
Are you getting kids approach you that are going to those 3-month trade prep schools, that like a crash course, so to speak?
I was all for it until recently.
Okay.
So again, my opinion.
That's what the show's all about.
Yeah. Well, at first, because that didn't exist. So when
they only popped up like 5 or 6.
When they started getting government funding.
Some of them don't. Some of them are privately funded, but they're expensive.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, it's government.
I bet you if you look deep enough,
they're still getting government?
It's funded somewhere.
Wow.
So the problem with that is now they're doing their jobs because it's a job. Like in order for it to continue to keep their job, they're going to keep saying what I'm getting a lot of is they're being lied to a lot.
The kids?
Yes.
They're okay. Which way?
If you go and take this course at a college or a trade school, it counts towards your hours. Or
That's bullshit.
Oh yeah. Or we'll give you a placement, like 90% placement. I've heard.
I've heard that with the paid trade schools. Yes.
The only way you can start your apprenticeship to become an electrician is to have a company, electrical contracting company, to sign you up through the Ministry of Training to start your hours.
Yeah.
No school, no Humber College, 12 grand techniques course is going to get you that.
Technically, right out of high school, you can go right to a company.
That's right.
And they could take you on.
But they're not telling them that.
Okay, but will they take you on? That's a different story. But you can do that.
That is the way.
And the onus is on the owner now and that electrician to kind of take you under his wing, her wing, right? But they don't tell you that, eh?
Nope.
Yeah, they tell you got to go do this first.
Go take this course.
Waste mommy and daddy's money, and then come into the real world and then realize that all that stuff that you just didn't apply for anything.
I like what they're doing, but the angle they're using is a little bit facetious.
Why not tell the truth?
Yeah. Well, because then they lose their jobs. They lose their funding. So I get emails from these schools saying, you know, not that you have to, but can you tell us if you're going to take on 1 or 2 students from our schools? Because if they can show the government that, hey, we've got the capabilities of, like, this is how many students they might take.
Holy cow.
They get funding based on that number.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you get approached all the time. They reach out to you?
And so I'm very vindictive. Yeah, I'm very vindictive. So it was so rough in the beginning for me. It was frowned upon. I remember telling, I specifically remember a certain teacher in high school, when I told them I was going to go into construction, they like said, figures, that's where all the immigrants go. Like the nobodies.
That was the comment?
Yep.
Wow.
And now these same teachers from the same schools are calling us all the time. Can you please take on a student of ours?
Because of their paper trail connected to. Wow, interesting. Am I going to get in trouble?
No, I'm just telling you like it is.
Okay.
So one of my main guys who's been with me for 8 years, I plucked him out of school. So one of my, an apprentice that I had at the time, he said, I have this buddy who wants to become an electrician. So I'm like, okay, so where is he? Oh, he's taking a course at George Brown. Why the hell is he taking a course? So I said, give me his number. So he was under the impression, because
someone told him that those hours would apply.
And even if they don't apply, he was under the impression that you needed to take the course. I said, no.
It's not true.
Come over here. And he's been with me for 8 years. Now he's 25, and he's making $100K a year.
This is across Canada, right?
I'm speaking about Ontario because every province has different rules.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know what their rules are, but this is definitely Ontario. So when the government says, hey, we've got $8 million to invest in trades because there's a shortage, who gets that money? The schools do. Why don't you give it to the contractors to lower our payroll budget so we can hire more of these kids?
I've been asking for that small piece of that pie to go to the small mom and pop contractors, the resi. I don't mean any disrespect to the unions, or
no,
I don't
mean me neither. I'm just telling you like I see
large track builders. I don't mean disrespect to any of those. Fine, they can continue, but they're not even allowing a piece of that pie to come to us.
Nope.
The custom resi people that are just doing renovations that want to bring more people, and in my opinion, might even educate or teach. Like they'll teach these kids a little differently and possibly better, because it's more one-on-one instead of you just being thrown right into the wolves, right?
Yep.
A lot of kids nowadays wouldn't be able to go through what you went through, seeing what you saw, and also the hazing that you got, right? And we all know the hazing continues.
But in a way, it builds character. It builds.
It's part of it.
You need it.
It's part
honestly,
of it.
Maybe not as rough, but you need that.
Well, but that's the one thing that I liked about construction, as far as I knew about it, because I've never experienced all this kind of coddling going on.
No.
I never felt that construction ever got to the point of helicopterish.
No.
Parenting and teaching, all that shit, right? It's just like you either come in and learn this or you don't.
Yeah.
That's it. There's none of this, we're going to fucking take care of you until you figure out how to do this.
And it was your opportunity to prove them wrong. Yes. It was kind of like the hard love, right?
Yes.
That's how it was.
I think that was a better way to do it.
Way better.
Still a better way now. And the really ironic thing is that so many immigrants are ready to come into it knowing that this is how it is.
But where they came from, they already come from hard times.
Exactly.
And that's why they survive.
That's why.
Yeah.
So it's a different...
Like I like that they're promoting it in high school. That part I really like. Just tell the full truth.
But is it? Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Tell the full truth, because I get everybody. I can't tell you how many times I get emails saying I'm a third-year apprentice. Okay, I go on College of Trades, which is now gone, to see if they're registered. They're not even registered. You are nothing until you're registered. So then my next question is, who told you you're a third year?
Schools.
Oh, the schools. I took a techniques course. I took a trade school course in accounts. You know who makes that decision? The Ministry of Training when they sign you up. Not me, not the schools, just the Ministry of Training. Says this schooling counts for 500 hours. I've never seen them give more than 1,000 hours.
The schooling?
The Ministry of Training giving someone more than 1,000 hours for whatever they took. Whether
so they still can do that if they wanted to.
Yeah, and some of it counts. Max that I've seen is 1,000 hours.
And what is it again? 9,000?
Yeah, 9, pretty much. Eight to 9, because it used to be 8, but then they started a pre-apprenticeship before you start your apprenticeship, which I agree with.
Okay.
Because too many kids are figuring out, hey, I don't like this because it's too dangerous, because it's too crazy, right? So you kind of started with this. So if you go to school, they waive the pre-apprenticeship year.
So that's how you're getting the hours.
That's how you get the 1,000 hours.
Okay, all right. So if you don't, then you still
and you get knowledge. So like that's why when I said before, I was for it originally, because I agreed with go to one of the schools and get some basic knowledge. Yeah, basic hands-on with the teachers, because those teachers in those schools are tradesmen, right? So I agreed with all that. But then it turned into, instead of you asking for 3 students, which I would that's the route I was going. They were like, we don't do that anymore. We don't give you the students. What we do is we take care, hire them, and we send you a bill. So they take on the whole payroll.
Yeah, but they're doing that to continue the flow of money.
Thank you very much. You see it.
Oh, it's just how it is. Which is really a shame. And I keep on
now,
going back to the middle.
I'm not promoting it anymore.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I have little cousins who are third years. And I'm trying to tell them, my guys, you're doing it wrong. Get it, great that you're in the union. Great that they're offering those great school courses. But you're never going to learn how to hook up a Kohler generator in the union.
They won't teach you that to begin with.
No, and by the time they approve the course, the technology's changed.
Trying to find a thermally modified exterior material with lasting warranty and a fire rating, look no further than Musso Bamboo Extreme. That's X, not EX Extreme. This is thermally modified bamboo. Exterior material is warranted for 25 years against rot and decay, and it is a Class A fire rated in both Canada and the United States. Make Musso Bamboo Extreme decking and siding your choice for your next exterior project. Visit www.mussobamboo.com today. Interesting, man. Let me do a little history talking about generators, which we will talk about generators. History of the electric generator. In the 1700s, you going that far back? Wow. Steam engines were becoming popular. James Watt, of course, was one of the first to make massive improvements to the steam engine design, so later developments used his name Watt, 2 T's, to name the amount of energy required to power up any electricity, accessories, or devices. In the 1800s, Michael Faraday cage, as it's just invented the magnetic generator that generated a high current of electricity with low voltage. It became a part of the production of dynamos. In the 1870s, Thomas Edison introduced the electric lighting system using DC generators. It was used to supply enough power for light industries and homeowners. In the 1880s, Nikola Tesla.
Now they mention him.
Of course, because, Thomas... Yeah, well.
Yeah, you know that back and forth.
Introduced the polyphase AC system. It was able to generate huge amounts of power. Of course it was. Over the 1900s, many companies tried to produce generators with different features and benefits. Motors began being used. Electricity generator units help business owners maximize productivity. In the 2000s, portability of generators became a focus, so small generators were developed with fuel tanks, speed regulators, voltage regulators, engine batteries, and starting mechanisms. Interesting. So I noticed that on your feed. I do want to talk a little bit about Jenny's.
Yep.
I'm sure with the last 3 years of what's been going on, a lot of people have been asking for more Jenny's.
Yep. Just in case the world blows up.
Just in case the world blows up, and they could be that one house that's still lit up with their Christmas tree and everything like that, which is great. And recently you've been doing a lot of the Kohler gens, right?
Yeah, I'm an authorized dealer and installer.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're a fan or not a fan?
Huge fan.
A huge fan of it?
Huge fan.
Everyone's so used to either Champion or Generac, right?
Most promoted first.
That's why. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of people know that Kohler does make Jennies. They also make lawnmowers. They make a bunch of other stuff.
They're the first ones to make generators.
Were they the first ones?
1920.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Generac didn't get invented till the 60s.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Kohlers are the first and the best.
So why do you like Kohlers over the other players?
When you open them up, you'll see the difference.
There's a huge difference?
Well, I started my first 8 years doing only Generacs.
Okay.
I'm like, all right.
I've only done the Generacs.
Yeah.
And I pay attention. I just watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Pretty
I see thick cables. I stay away from them.
Yeah.
That's
Stator, engine, wiring, done, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you're like, and it's a great generator. Great generator. Then I was like, let me start looking into Kohler. Oh, you got to do all this training and there's software involved. And so Generac is more mechanical. Kohler's got this crazy software, tuning and all that, and so many more options. So then I'm like, all right, so what do you got to do to become an installer of Kohler? Well, it's pretty broad to learn. They won't let you go near them.
It's a test.
Oh, it's a test.
It's a big test.
Yeah.
Can you cheat?
No.
Okay.
No. You got to go to Wisconsin for training.
I've been to Wisconsin Kohlers.
Which is where Generac is too.
I love that building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty impressive stuff, man. Pretty impressive stuff.
Well, I do know with Kohler, I could honestly say that when they do something, they do something. Mm-hmm. They don't do it half-assed.
Well, they're the number one for commercial generators. Always has been. They just started pushing hard for residential, I say, the past 20 years.
I guess because of marketing. It's just not there compared to, like you said, with Champion and Generac.
Yeah.
Everyone knows them as
Champion.
I know.
You pay for what you get.
Listen, I've got a job site Champion 9000, which is great. Had it for 6-7 years. It still turns over like it's butter, man.
They're all good.
Yes.
But from experience, Kohler's number one. Briggs & Stratton is number two. Cummins is number three.
Really? And
Generac is number four.
Generac's all the way that far down.
In my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Kohler's quieter?
They're all about the same, 58 decibels for the average standard home.
Why do you like it so much? Just because the internal, the way it's designed?
Everything in Kohler is made at Kohler.
It's still U.S. made, yeah.
No. See how they worded that? Kohler's parts are all Kohler parts. Generacs are not.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So why do you think when you go to Home Depot and you see a Generac in there, do you not think there's a difference if you buy them directly from Generac?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Look at the make and model of the engines.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Different parts, different makes.
So if there's an issue you got to service even when you're installing?
Yeah, like for Kohler.
It's a lot easier for you to deal with it.
Well, I'm trained on Kohlers now. So I made the decision. So like I said, I was doing Generacs for a good 8 years. Great. I had it in my own home. My home is the guinea pig of all guinea pig homes. Everything that comes out, I tried on my home first.
Every contractor.
Otherwise, I wouldn't install it for a customer.
Of course. Make the mistakes there. So
I started doing them 8 years. Callbacks for Generacs, callbacks.
What kind of callbacks?
Simple, stupid little things. Controller doesn't charge the battery anymore. You need the battery for it to start, right?
Of course.
12-volt battery. That's probably the number one issue. Was the battery charger stops charging the battery because they're charged off of the actual controller.
Yeah.
Kohler has a separate dedicated circuit that you have to run dedicated for a battery charger separate from the controller. Solves that problem.
So the battery's constantly charged.
Constantly charged
until when the power goes off, you have a full charge battery. Still, it kicks on.
Well, not only that, if there's a problem with the battery charger on a Generac, it fries the controller. How much do you think that controller costs?
Really? Does it do that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guarantee you they're gonna have a separate dedicated line for battery chargers soon.
Because they'll have to now.
Oh, it's been 10 years of this crap. Service calls.
Kohlers are more expensive?
Oh yeah.
Not twice though, right?
No. I'd say a 20%.
That's not crazy.
First
of all, when you're already doing a standby generator,
yeah,
you're paying a pretty penny.
Depends who you hire.
Well, we were in the ballpark. I mean, by the time we...
What size?
Yeah, that's true. That's the other thing is that I'm trying to remember exactly the last one that we did. If it was a 20 kilo, it could have been a 20 kilowatt.
Yeah.
It was a good size house. It was, I mean, it was a 5,000 including the basement.
That's a huge misconception, though.
No, you don't need to surface the whole house, right?
No, but that's a misconception. Like, bigger the house, bigger the generator. That doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
No, you have to decide. You have to do your load calculations and figure out what you want, and then you have those conversations with the client. All right, listen. Do you want everything able to turn on at the same time, or what's this? And nobody's house everything turns on at the same time.
I like to tell them, are you really going to use your hot tub in a power outage?
You never know. You might.
I know, but I asked them the question.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it'll be a $4,000 difference. Right?
It is a big difference.
Yeah.
So average house, you're thinking about 20 kilowatts more than enough for it to?
Oh, 20 kilowatts is more than enough. You don't need more than 24. Unless you have 4 AC units, 2 furnaces, you do not need more than a 20 kilowatt.
It'll take care of everything.
It'll take care of
and
everything.
all the power on the inside, TV, Game Boy, all that crap, right?
Your house at a standard load, if I were to put a clamp on your main lines on your house, after your house has already been warmed up or cooled down in the summertime, to maintain it, it's 13 amps.
That's it?
That's it. If you have 1 furnace and 1 AC and like 2 or 3 fridges, that's it. 13 amps. A 20 kilowatt is 85 amps worth of power.
That's crazy,
right?
So why does ESA? Let's go pick on them, Simon.
I love ESA. I agree with you.
Why does the ESA always do these load calculations to kind of like the max?
It's the rule.
But you're not consuming to the max.
No, but if the capabilities are there, it could cause a fire. That would be bad.
Yes.
So you definitely, I agree with it.
Aren't there a number of redundancies already to prevent any to get to that?
That is the redundancy. You got to do the load calculation, and it matters. No one's going to use. Listen, the stove is 40 amps, right?
Yes.
A 2-pull 40. Who cooks with 4 burners and the oven at the same time?
Holidays are
not in
coming up.
2022.
That's when you might max out the stove.
That's right.
Holiday times, right? One time.
Sure.
But the rest of the year, 2 burners at the moment.
That's right.
Maybe.
But you have the 40 amp breaker in case you do.
But you're calculating
it's
for
the same
40.
reason.
So when you're doing your 40 amps, you're calculating.
It's the same reason.
Same thing. So you do that for everything.
Yeah. And the biggest power consumption in a home, no matter what, by far, is your dryer.
Gas.
Beautiful. But I'm just like,
I thought you were going to say the stupid TV receiver bullshit thing.
No. Like your dryer is when you turn it on, there's nothing below the 30 amps.
It's 30. It's actually draining 30 amps.
Well, it's draining like 25, 24.
That's crazy, really.
Constantly, yeah. That's the biggest. If you ever look at your hydro bill, that's the reason why it's high.
Well, that's why I went to gas.
Yes,
gas is a lot less, and I love that it is, right? People don't like it because they're paying the ass to run.
But if you take away the dryer, everything is like 4 amps, 5 amps.
Just a stove.
But
my stove is dual.
Yeah, but no one cooks.
No, I know.
Right?
So
a dryer's running for an hour.
I got gas burners and I got an electric oven.
Yeah, a dryer's running for an hour at 25 amp draw, constant.
That's actually a good
continuous.
point. I never even looked at it that way. What are we talking about? Everybody's doing heated floors these days, but that's not drawing shit. Is it drawing a lot of power?
Yeah, anything with the heating element that's the number 1 draw consumption is the heating element
because it's a constant, right?
Continuous.
That's why.
Yes.
So you got to look at power consumption as a continuous.
Yeah.
Not as just a.
And you're only allowed 80% on the rule, right?
So if it's continuous?
Yeah. So the max in-floor heating can be at a 120 volt is 12 amps, 12 and a half amps, because you're only allowed to draw 12 and a half amps off of a 15 amp breaker.
Yes.
Right.
That's why that number keeps on coming up when we're running the lines and we're doing the calculations.
Like even they can make it stronger. They can make it closer to 15, but that's against code. Right. So as soon as you want more power, go to 240.
So, but these days everybody's asking for that.
Oh yeah, it's so luxurious.
Everybody's asking.
You got to see the stuff I'm wiring up these days.
It's insane, huh?
Heated drawers, heated towel racks.
Heated drawers.
Yep.
What heated drawers?
All your utensils, dry. You can just throw them in there wet from the dishwasher.
Are you kidding me?
You've
Carlo?
never seen that?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? A heated drawer for your.
That's the newest, greatest. You know how the.
So how do you heat a drawer?
The device that they bought, right? It's like just like you can't have Just like you can't have plugs and drawers, you can if it's a CSA approved device, which is
that's the device.
Yeah, and the same thing with a heated drawer. It's an actual device.
So wow.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
Yep.
Heated drawer, so you can have warm cutlery.
That's how it progresses.
So let me talk stupid now. You're setting a table. You take out a warm utensil, put it on a cold table.
I never asked the reason why.
This is stupid.
I assumed it was coming out of a wet dishwasher. I never asked the reason why. I just wired up.
It doesn't. It won't stay warm enough. If you're a bachelor and you're just grabbing the one,
I used to have that reaction for a heated towel rack. That's old news now.
Yeah, I don't like heated towel racks because they're ugly. They're functional, but they're ugly.
Yeah.
But a heated drawer, I gotta look into that. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Dishwasher, that's not consuming a lot of power.
No, only things that have a heating element. That's it. They take up all the
washing machines now with all these sanitary cycles that take like 15 days to do a load, right? So you're like spending scalding, flaming hot water to wash your clothing now, right?
Yeah, filtered water and all that.
All that crap. So that's got to be consuming a lot.
Yeah, because there's a heating element in there. I
noticed that you did a Jenny right by the meter.
Yeah, that's where you want it.
Right by the meter?
What do you mean? The gas meter or the electrical meter?
No, electrical, the hydro.
Oh, yeah. That's where you want it.
You don't want
closer the better, cheaper the cost for the wire.
That's the reason why. So, but most people have their meters on the side of the house, and sometimes there's not a lot of space there.
Well, when you pick a spot, like the customer says, I want it here. I say, okay, the reality is your gas is on the other side of the house, so you're either going to pay X amount of dollars for the gas line or you're going to pay X amount of dollars for the copper. Which one's more expensive right now?
Warflex is cheaper. A lot cheaper. So it's kind of smart to park it right there.
Yeah.
Plus, on the side, nobody's hanging out there, so when it turns over...
in my opinion, the side, if it's in the middle of the side, like if it's in the front of the side of the house, it's okay. Or in the back, it's okay.
Yeah.
When you put it in the middle, it ends up being an echo chamber.
Yeah. It's like a tunnel.
Yeah, it's bad for sound. At 58 decibels, it gets pretty loud.
So it's actually a good point because now you're just like, you've got what, less than 10 feet of tech cable, whatever, to go from one to the other.
Yeah, that's how I keep the cost down. It's like, I'm not out to grill anybody. I want the cheapest possible solution. So I tell them, if we put the pad here, code is 18 inches away from the home. 5 feet away from windows and doors that open, then this is the cheapest spot because of tech cable or PVC and RW.
Whatever it is, yeah. I mean, it's still $20K or so, no?
No, I don't charge that.
You don't charge including the unit and everything.
Taxes in for a 20, 18 and a half. My cost.
Well, that's 20.
Yeah. Hey,
I make it to the showroom.
Yeah. 18 and a half, 20 is $1,500.
It is, but there's going to be some little bell and whistle here, there, or something, little detail or something.
And that's with winter heaters, right? You have those options, right, to put on the heating pads for the oil filter, the battery.
Kohler offers that?
Yeah. Yeah, so does Generac.
Generac does that too, right?
Yeah. Which is a must.
So I can only assume that a lot more people are getting these things, right?
Yeah.
But could you imagine the whole neighborhood turning this over when we do have our brownouts, when everybody's supposed to go EV?
Well, my house is lit up like a Christmas tree. The EV thing is pretty funny, actually.
Let's go with the EV thing, because I know that the incentives are not there anymore.
Well, I was, I think, one of the first adopters. I bought my Tesla in 2015.
Okay.
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I bought it in 2015 because I'm a big fan. I don't know if it's because I'm an electrician, but when I saw that way before anybody was talking about it, I had to order that in 2013. And
how did you do it? Because I know that back then it would have been a pain in the ass.
There was only one location at Lawrence Avenue in Toronto.
Yeah.
That was the original Tesla location.
Yeah.
And I went there in person in 2013, and they offered it to, everything was done online, and they would offer to deliver to your house, done and said.
Wow.
But yeah, it took.
How was hooking up the charging back then?
Great.
It was easy?
Well, because not everyone had one, right? Not everyone's going to be able. So we're starting to see this now, especially in Toronto. You apply for the 200 amp upgrade because you're not allowed installing them unless you have a 200 amp upgrade service.
Yeah.
And Toronto's saying no. Everyone assumes that they're going to say yes.
They're denying it?
Yeah. They're starting
So obviously they've bought the car already.
They bought the car. But they don't need those chargers. That's another misconception.
What do you mean?
1450R stove plug.
Yeah.
Is a 10 amp difference between the Tesla charger.
So what it means is it's just not going to charge as fast?
Instead of 3.5, 4 hour wait, it will take 5.5 hours with a stove plug.
Is there a premium on the actual car charger? Because every manufacturer now has their own charger.
Yeah, Ford's is 80 amp draw. Tesla's is only 60.
What?
Yeah, the Ford charger, the EV station.
Yeah.
It's capable of 80.
But you can get away with a stove?
Yeah, 100%.
ESA is fine with that?
Yep.
ESA,
Again,
they're listening, by the way.
Again, load calculations matter. Load calculations
So
matter.
when you're doing load on a car, you have to figure out, but no, hang on a sec. You're doing load on a car. It's how long it's going to take to charge. It's not really the load, is it?
Sure it is.
You still have to factor in the load.
Yeah.
Again, with the ESA and going all the way to the max.
If you have 2 kitchens,
okay,
they still won't accept that 1450. Probably not. If you add up, because it's not just based on the kitchens, but that's usually the giveaway. If you have 2 full kitchens in your home, they're not and 100 amp service, they're not going to let you put in a 1450 for an EV chase.
No, you'd have to upgrade the 100 amp, but 200.
But a lot of people think that you have to in order to have an EV. You don't, because the difference in the Tesla charger and a 1450 plug is minimal. Like if you want to save $1,200 on the charger and hiring us, which is probably another $1,800, just get a 1450 plug and you're good.
Perfectly legit. But is there a problem with the Ford?
No.
You're saying it draws more power. There's 80 amp.
If you want to, I'm saying their charger's a beast.
Okay.
It does 80 amps.
But so you can still charge the Ford on that stove.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But a 200 amp panel, you're legally only allowed to draw 187 amps.
Yes. So you have to still figure out your load.
You're using 80 amps on just the car. On the Ford, right? And now
so you're on the edge of it then.
And now you got the Tesla trucks that are coming out, which I pre-ordered, by the way.
What do you mean, the Cybertruck?
Yes.
I didn't even know that they're coming out because he announced that how long ago?
I bought it I put a deposit 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I figured as much. When are they supposed to hit the street?
I think 2023, honestly.
You think next year?
Yeah.
He's been quiet as a mouse about it.
It's been 2 years.
Did you order the shingles?
No. I'm not. I love the tech. I love that it's capable, but they're going to shut that down.
Why'd you get rid of your Tesla?
Save money, put my priorities.
But it's already bought. You paid for it. No?
Yeah. So I enjoyed it for a solid 4 years. I had it.
Yeah.
Three or 4 years, and it definitely paid itself off. Because remember, everyone's going to think I'm rich. The Tesla in 2015 was 57 grand for a Model S.
Yeah, it was reasonable.
It was reasonable.
Yeah.
So after driving so many kilometers, saving on gas, it definitely paid itself off. So I'm a pro Tesla guy for that reason.
How was the resale when you got rid of it?
I think I sold for 42.
Wow.
Like 4 or 5 years later.
With
almost 200,000 kilometers on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was the winter?
You lose 30%. I don't care what anyone says.
So here's the issue that I have, and I don't know if Cybertruck. So what's the street value of Cybertruck?
What the initial
price? What are you going to pay for it when you get it?
No one knows.
He hasn't given you a sticker price.
Yeah, the 2 year ago price. The new price.
Wasn't the 2 year ago price the same price as an average pickup truck?
Cheaper.
Yeah, but now we've gone through everything, and an average pickup
Inflation,
truck is
our dollar
$100,000
dropped.
now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's going to be like I think it's going to be 140, whereas the original sticker price was 88.
Okay, so now isn't it also fact that with any of these pickup truck EVs, the moment you slap a trailer on it,
you lose
half.
Oh yeah, I believe it, and then that's not including the winter. That's right.
As a contractor,
impossible.
I have an issue with
yes,
that. I have several issues with that.
I have one friend who owns an electrical contracting company. He got the Ford Lightning. He has a trailer,
and
he's pushing it close every day. He's getting it done. He's pushing it close to
Has
zero.
he gone through a winter yet? No, this is the first winter.
That's right.
Everybody that got a Ford Lightning, this is the first winter.
And he thinks like he's
going to have to charge. Halfway through the day.
But the Cybertruck, and this is okay in my opinion, Tesla's number one for tech and battery consumption. So the Ford Lightning, I think, is giving you 500 kilometers.
I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay.
And then you lose 30%, guaranteed down to 380 in the dead of winter, like February.
For winter.
February will bring it down to 380.
And then you're losing more if you're hauling.
150 if you're hauling.
150 is nothing.
Nothing. But the Cybertruck is coming with 1,300 kilometer capability. So even if you lose, you don't believe it, eh?
I don't think you'll get to
put.
Listen, the only thing I ever said when it first was announced, I said, "Show me the numbers in the dead of winter on a real job site." That's it.
Yeah.
Show me those numbers.
Yeah.
It's not 1,300. If you're a contractor and you're running through the mud and it's dead of winter, and
we don't know.
No, we don't know because it hasn't been tested.
That's right.
But he's saying right now he's developed a product that's going to give him 1,300.
Well, at the time when I bought my Tesla, it came with 480 kilometers. And at that time, the only other EV was the Chevy Volt, and that was 130 kilometers.
Yeah.
Like, and he said it, and everyone had the same reaction, and I got it, and it did what I bought it for. Like, it gave me, even 200,000 kilometers later, it was still giving me 430.
But it's funny, as much as I can respect Elon and his testing and tech and everything like that, he hasn't thrown it into winter. He hasn't thrown it into Canada.
My Tesla.
No, the pickup truck.
Oh, no.
On a real construction site. He hasn't done that.
Well, I guess
we're
going to see.
Yeah, we're going to see. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't. I would want to see it in a real Canadian construction site.
Yeah.
Day to day, week to week, season to season.
Yeah.
And then once it does that, then give me that data.
Hey, based on what he's done, I am a positive on that. I totally agree with what you're saying.
I heard about the trailer. I was like, I'm not. A lot of guys are trailer guys.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are trailer guys.
Oh, yeah. No. Like, I wouldn't, in my personal opinion.
You wouldn't do the trailer.
Never. I wouldn't get a Ford. So I just got a Maverick. A Ford Maverick, you know, those little.
Yeah.
Beautiful truck.
Is that electric? No, that's not electric.
No, but it comes as offered as an electric.
Okay.
A hybrid.
I
got but you lose the all-wheel drive. I'm like, no.
So why are you getting a Cybertruck though? You're an electrician. I'm assuming you're running a van of some sort. No.
Yeah.
So with the Cybertruck, you're not going to really run the job.
I'm just a fan.
That's just
this isn't for work.
It's more of a personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to touch the mud.
Well, I plan on adapting it to my company stuff for sure because I want to see if I can do it.
I'm curious. You let me know.
Oh, I'll let you know.
I'm curious. I just find it really funny because I remember watching those videos that he presented, and all of a sudden he was overtaking or he was pulling the F50, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but in the time that happened, Ford has already launched theirs. It's out there testing. Is it a great one? I don't know.
If you understand the specs, though, what they launched, he already launched 3-4 years ago.
Got it.
Right. So this is why I'm like, you got to be a little bit more positive because he has the history to back it up.
Yes.
And if that was 3-4 years ago tech, I can only imagine
what is it now?
What's it going to be. So if he says in my email that it's capable of doing 1,300, I'm going to say I hope so.
So Carlo, here's a question that I've asked all the Sparkies that come on the show.
Yeah.
If every single homeowner in province of Ontario were to switch over to an EV,
can't be done.
Exactly. So why can't it be done?
Our existing
infrastructure.
Yeah. There's no shot. Listen, I live in Innisfil. You know how many times our power goes out there?
You guys constant brownouts, right?
Well, it's cottage. It's nice. It's a beautiful town, and they're privatized. Their hydro, which is in power.
Yeah.
Fantastic service. See the difference? Fantastic service. Yeah, I'm giving shit to Hydro One.
No, I'm not a fan of them either.
Oh my God.
I know. So we don't have the infrastructure, but yet you got a government who keeps on pushing it.
Yeah.
Asking people to go EVs.
Follow the money, man.
I know. It's all crap. That's what I can't stand. I keep telling everybody that's in construction, we're on our own.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything from the government. Unless you're union.
Believe anything the government says. How about that? Just a little common sense, guys.
What else is there? Okay, I mean, what else is new in electrical? Like in the houses, resi? What's people asking for other than the heated EVs?
EVs.
Power consumption's got to be going down, but the problem is that we're using more things.
Yeah, and let me state, I think it should be mandatory in the building code that every home built this day forward has surge protectors built in.
In what? In every?
All homes.
Oh, you mean in the actual panel?
Yeah.
I believe that too.
You put in the panel.
Yeah.
Right? 100 amp service is the minimum. Put in the surge protector.
Okay, so here's my question. If you put a surge protector at the panel,
protect your whole house.
Fuck, do we still need arc fault receptacles in the bedrooms?
Those are two separate, totally different things.
Okay, but why? I know the surge protector. It's the power coming into the panel. I get all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But why are you allowing these receptacles in bedroom applications not even able to power a vacuum?
Well, the arc fault is designed for things like back in the day when us kids would stick something in there.
Of course.
But even like if there's a heated line, so let's say you put in a heater, 1800 watt heater in the wall, that heats up the wire, even if it's up to code.
Oh, I've seen it.
If you run it, it'll heat up the wire.
Yeah.
So if anything happens to that wire in the wall, that arc fault will sense it and trip it. So I agree with the arc faults, but they're on revision number 6, I think now, because of all the nuisance tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's driving us electrical contractors nuts. I think Siemens is on number 6.
So can we not design a better?
They are. Every year they keep coming with newer.
But it's still doing the exact same problem.
Some of them
they're getting better.
Homeline arc faults, in my opinion, the best arc faults.
Okay.
Which is a Schneider product.
Everyone's talking highly about Schneider, man.
Yeah, well,
I'd love to get him on the show.
I was all Siemens.
Really? And what happened with Siemens?
Arc faults.
That's how it was. Really,
That's what made me switch to Schneider.
So why are all these breakers going through the roof in cost wise? Are we still using that bullshit COVID China crap? Whatever. There's computer chips and all these things too.
Yep. Why hasn't copper gone down? Copper's gone down on the market. Why are we still paying those crazy prices on the coils?
Because you guys will buy it regardless.
We have to.
You guys don't have work or make money or survive unless you buy it at this high price.
How about this? And it goes along the same general thing. I have to wait a month and a half for Hydro One to give me a disconnect reconnect date.
I fucking don't hate
But
that.
hold on. There's a surplus. There's a surplus of $13 million. Why don't you use that money to hire more guys?
They won't. They won't. And when they do, they send 3 guys. 1 doesn't work, 2 watch.
Because Hydro's privatized. That's what happened. Remember? They
That's
sold it.
Ford.
Kathleen Wynne. Kathleen Wynne.
Oh, was that? No, that was the Win. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Where is Win right now?
Living the life on our tax dollars.
So it's such a basically what we're saying is Toronto's such a corrupt corporation.
All cities, the world.
I'm only going to speak for Toronto.
Okay.
So,
But it drives me nuts, right? If I only did generators, you know how screwed I would have been because of COVID? I couldn't get a generator for 6 months because they need their parts delivered, which is what everyone's going through, right?
how did you get Kohler generators? So, because I remember speaking with Kohler on the plumbing side, and there was a lot of delays on a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. I ordered it in March. I ordered in January, got some in June.
Oh, so you still waited, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's still big.
Now it's good.
Because before that, it would have been like almost right then and there, the next week or two, right? You would have had it.
Yeah, and that's what it's back now. So I can get between, they sell a 10, 12, 14, and 20. I can get those in 3 weeks.
What's the max?
Oh, 64. Liquid cooled. So that's the difference between Kohler and Generac too, right?
Liquid cool.
Liquid cooled. So air cooled stops at 20 kilowatts for Kohler.
Okay.
If you want a 24, it comes liquid cooled. Fantastic generator, crazy price.
How much more money?
Double
the price. Eh?
So, but then if you want 24 in Generac, hey, there you go. But it's not liquid cooled.
Do you have a Tesla power bar in your power wall, whatever?
No, I have I'm a Kohler guy, so they have their own version called the Kohler Reserve.
Well, I didn't know they had their version.
Yeah, Kohler Reserve.
I heard it's a pain in the ass, the Tesla one to install. Is it a pain in the ass? Or
The
no?
only reason why it's a pain in the ass is because they're still trying to get the codes down and the rules and regulations.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So in BC, they're pumping them out like crazy. And in here, we still can't get approval. So we can order them and they'll ship. We can't get ESA permit.
Tell me about the Kohler one, man.
It's the exact same.
Really?
Same tech, same look, same has the green little eye. Cool.
Easier to install?
If you ask me,
Because you're authorized.
yeah, if you ask me, which are the best if you want to go down the solar panel road, the only ones I would install now are Tesla Powerwall and Kohler Reserve. Because it's an all-in-one. It's got the built-in inverter. You ever go when the government, Kathleen, was giving those contracts for the solar houses?
Yeah.
You ever go near one of those houses and you hear the crazy humming?
No, I didn't do that.
That's the inverter.
Really?
Crazy humming. Drives people nuts, especially if you live in the house. It hums like crazy because it's old tech, right? At least now if you get Tesla Powerwall and Kohler Reserve, you get the all-in-one, no humming lithium batteries, right?
Same price? Teslas and...
Yeah, yeah. I think they're competing against each other, right?
Is it worth?
It depends how you use it. Like, is it worth, if you have solar panels? Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you have solar panels, yes. Yeah, you can build, the rule of thumb is you always double. So if the average home uses 4 kilowatts, you want to build an 8 kilowatt system, right? Winter months, you only get half, right?
Are there not rules? I remember having a brief conversation because...
I'm not a solar expert, by the way.
No, not solar, but... you know, when Toronto Hydro does show up and does do some work, the one person on the crew does the work.
Always.
I always have plenty of time to chat with the other 2 guys that are not doing anything with the clean overalls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm always chatting with them. And is it true that you cannot get off the grid fully?
Oh, no, that's a misconception. No, are
in
you
Toronto, I'm asking.
the rule, because of the rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't let you.
Okay, so they won't let you.
No. So they keep moving the line higher and higher north. So back in the day, back in 2000, you were allowed to apply, and they would usually say yes, north of Rutherford.
Yeah, but
And
now
then they
that's
moved
a
it,
whole city.
and
up
then
there.
they moved it to Highway 9. And now you're lucky if you get approval for Simcoe Muskoka. And they'll let you go down to 0. You'll be totally off. They want that service fee from the meter. And
isn't it in the best interest of the community?
do you know the argument they use?
What's the argument?
You have to have 2 sources of power for your fire alarm system. It's a safety reason. That's why we can't let you go off the grid.
Okay, so if you have a backup generator and you've got your source, whatever.
If you want to pay 20 grand in lawyers, and you will win that argument.
And any public official will not fight for us on this because they're in bed with.
Come on.
This is what I've always
Follow
hated.
the money.
Why not? Why? Because I'm sure there's a lot of homeowners and contractors that want to provide this for their homeowner.
So the Kohler system has an option in the app that when the solar runs out on your batteries, the Kohler generator kicks in on propane. There's your 2 power sources plus the battery backup of your actual smoke detector.
You don't need the hydro anymore. Isn't that what we really want? Like at that point,
that's what we want.
Well, that's what we want, but not what the powers of.
They'll lose their shirts. They want that service fee that keeps going up. Now, if you use zero power, you're still paying $80 a service fee, connection fee. Sorry, connection fee.
I'm gonna get a lot of emails, Carlo.
Oh, I know, and they're all gonna hate. Man, you know what? I love it. I'm just telling you the truth, guys.
I'm gonna forward them to you, man.
Hey, but I did say I'm a fan of ESA. I'm a big fan of ESA.
I'm a fan of ESA. I can hate somebody and like them at the same time.
A lot of people hate them. I'm actually a fan of them.
They roll in like they, I don't know.
Yeah, they're the kings of electrical, man.
Emergency power supply generators. This is OBC talk. Generators intended to supply emergency power for lighting, fire safety, and life safety systems in a building must be located in a room that contains only the generating set and equipment related to the emergency power supply system. Does that make sense? And is separated from the rest of the building by a fire separation with a fire resistant rating of at least 2 hours. So that's basically double layer 5/8. Most buildings over 18 meters, which is 60 feet tall, or 2 hours for residential buildings with floor assembly fire resistance ratings or more than 1 hour, or 1 hour for most other buildings. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Okay. What is ESA always, what are they changing now? They're always changing shit.
Constantly updating the code.
How are you guys supposed to stay updated?
That's the difference. That's the difference, I think, in between a good electrician and an average electrician is taking, because it's not mandatory. We don't have to. But if you care, you will. And buying the book is gone. There's so many changes constantly with bulletins.
They gone digital yet?
Oh, yeah. No, that's the only way to do it.
Okay.
So, I've already gotten 4 different versions of the code book since the one came out in May. Half
the year?
Yeah. Of like changes. So bulletin changes, rules, regulations. Yeah. Just in all honesty, this has been the biggest I've seen changes in the code so quick ever.
Why?
Safety.
Why do you think? Safety?
Yeah.
It's purely safety?
Yeah.
Are we not building safer these days?
They're building safer, but a lot of things get into the crack. Like the number one call safety thing that I get now this time of year is people plugging in floor heaters into power bars.
Can't do that.
You can't do that. But how many people know that? Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we talking about elderly people here? Or are we talking about
general? I get that call a lot. I get every time there's a thunderstorm, like the windstorm we had on Saturday.
Yeah.
Half my house didn't light up because they don't have a surge protector. So they lost their stove, their TVs. Right.
So why isn't a surge protector not mandatory as part of?
I don't know. I think it will be.
A surge protector costs what?
For the whole panel, for the whole home, $150.
It's nothing.
Installed, I charge like $350.
I was going to say $500. It's nothing.
No. Totally.
When you're doing new construction, you got a panel or whatever.
Put it in.
Even if you're upgrading from 100 to 200, throw it in.
Put it in.
It costs nothing.
What kills me is they'll spend $200 on a power bar from Future Shop to do their TV for surge. Just put it on the panel and you don't need the power bar.
But isn't it also true if you do get hit, you have to change that surge?
Yeah, but it did its job. It protected all your stuff.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I will gladly pay that.
We had another Sparky here not too long ago, and he was talking about how when a breaker trips, technically speaking, you have to replace it.
Yes. The actual average age of a breaker is like 15 trips. So I know people that use it as a switch. Oh, every day. Like they turn on the lights. It's pretty much the warranty's gone. The value of it, the interior of it is gone after like 15.
Does that matter any manufacturer?
That's the general
That's
rule.
the general rule.
That's the general rule.
So 15 is the if you trip a switch 15 times, that breaker is done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And after that, if it's tripping again, it's basically failed.
Oh, it probably won't trip anymore. That's why they say you should change it, because it should be tripping and it won't trip.
Well, that creates a heat, like it's fire at that point, right?
Yeah. Oh, I see some stuff in my day.
Wow, I never even knew about this 15 thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the general rule. Yeah.
So here's the scary thing: is
Sure, there's a spec on it.
I've got a Commander.
Oh, get rid of that.
I know. Don't worry, it's already scheduled. I know. Commander
80s
belongs on this Enterprise. That's all it does. It doesn't belong in anybody's house.
I think they came up with Commander when they thought aluminum was a good idea.
Is that what it is?
For residential?
Oh, mine's not aluminum, but it's a pain in the ass, that thing. I hate it. I can't stand it. And when the Sparkies do come by and they look at it, they're like,
whoa. Did you find out the cost of a breaker to replace it?
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. Can you find that?
Yeah. Eaton took over the rights for it.
Okay.
So you can get an Eaton breaker that'll fit on a Commander panel, and it's an Eaton product.
So who's got the nicest panel? Schneider?
Leviton is the new bad boy in town.
Why is that?
They're Wi-Fi enabled, mobile app.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of guys know that it exists.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the pros of being on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's expensive?
Oh yeah, double, triple.
Is it worth it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, honestly.
Eaton any good?
Eaton is, I can't say who's number one, but I'd say right now, Eaton and Schneider.
Are you deciding that choice?
Yeah.
Or okay, you're just that's what I figured, right? It's not spec'd out by anybody that's on the job.
No.
Yeah.
No. I used to be all Siemens. Not anymore.
Until the whole bullshit with
Oh, they're not paying my callbacks.
No.
Oh, yeah, static. You're wearing socks and you have carpet in your house and you go to a switch, it'll trip the arc fault. Static from your damn socks. Oh, I start getting angry.
See, that's what I mean. I can't stand that. I don't know.
Homeline, so far so good.
Really? No issues at all?
Listen, 100 issues or one issue? I'll take the one issue.
Who's got the nicest pot lights these days?
Oh, that's preference. Honestly.
They're all good kind of thing or just personal?
I mean, you're paying for options. They all do the same job. One has 8 different colors built in with a switch.
Yeah.
And, the quality of light, right? The output of lumens. That's pretty much what you're paying for when you see a $100 pot light and a $20 pot light. Those are the reasons.
Okay, Carlo, here's a big question, man.
Here we go.
Laying out your pot lights.
Oh.
Do you, A, symmetrically lay them out on the ceiling to your calculations? Mm-hmm. Or B, lay them out for functionality to the room?
Symmetrically.
Why? I disagree with you, by the way. I disagree with every electrician, by the way, when it comes to that.
Well, to be honest with you, you're trying to do both.
You're trying to do both.
The best of your ability.
You do, yeah,
but I can't see. No one actually looks up. It's kind of a peripheral vision when you walk in, and I got to see equalization.
So that's why I disagree with you guys. I know that you guys want to lay it out symmetrically on the ceiling, but when you turn on a light, do you look up at the ceiling?
But are you talking about kitchens or are you talking about general?
Kitchens.
No, kitchens, it's got to be functionality.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bedroom-wise, symmetrically.
Yeah, no, like I always put one, so this is how I do it. I always put one center of the fridge, wherever the fridge is, and then the gap between where the fridge is to your back door, or where your table is.
Yes.
Your kitchen table.
Yes.
I'll evenly lay it out there as a row, starting from the fridge. And then your 2 pendants over the island, right?
So I go fridge, sink, stove.
That's right.
I go island or whatever the pendants are and work around it.
Sink, a 2-inch, stove, a 4-inch, or a fridge, a 4-inch pot light. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it also does.
To give it the separation.
So also, too, the placement of where it is on the fridge and the stove is different than where it is on the sink, because when you're in the sink working it, you don't want to be in the same spot that you would put for the fridge, which is just in front of it. Mm-hmm. Same with the stove, which is just in front of it, because you've got your hood that's going to be illuminating that as well, too. Yeah. That's why I keep arguing with the Sparkies about it. Is like it's functionality and the light source.
Yeah.
These lights in this kitchen, exclusively kitchen, it also applies sometimes to bathrooms as well. Because if you've got
the tub, the shower, and the sinks.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's functionality. Yes. You can't walk into a bathroom and it's a square box.
Literally, those are the only two.
Bedroom symmetrically, hallway symmetrically. Yes, I get it.
How about outdoor pot lights?
Okay, first of all,
we all have different ways.
I need to shoot a bunch of people in my neighborhood.
Thank you. With the 15,000 of them.
God,
Thank
man.
you.
Are they landing airplanes or what's the story here? I don't understand, man.
Okay, so I think a good. So the biggest ESA thing that they're doing right now is going after all the non-electricians who are doing outlets.
Oh, so you're getting. I wouldn't even do that. So DIYers are doing that.
Oh, we've given it to them. We don't even want to do it because no one wants to pay our rates.
Wow, because they said I can get some guy on Kijiji for $20.
Oh, I found this $5 pot light on Amazon. I'm going to do this. I'm going to charge them $500 for labor.
It's in the container right now from China.
No permits.
CSA approved.
Yeah, but again, some electricians do it their way. The way I have a general rule: it's supposed to accent the corners of your home. That's it. That's all it's supposed to do.
But you're thinking where the light source is supposed to go.
Yeah,
not where the light is supposed to go. I want all the young Sparkies to understand this. Do not do this stupid math, thirds, fourths, 5 feet from there, 4 feet. That's not, you look at the light source.
Yes.
What's it supposed to do in the room?
Yep.
And then look at the room. What's the functionality of that room, right?
Yep.
And okay, so now let's get back to the exterior, right?
Yep. Exterior is a big problem right now.
You're putting like 15 along the whole side of the house, man.
And builders are doing that.
Builders are doing that too.
When you go drive by a model home, it's lit up like a Christmas tree. Every 3 feet.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know the reason because I'm not a builder, but I'm sure there's a reason.
I'm sure you're gonna start seeing these idiots start running like LED strip lighting in their soffits. Man.
Oh yeah. I posted on Instagram the stuff that I see. I'm just like, this wasn't passed with the permit.
There's no way it was.
And you know what? That's what ends up happening. A lot of people will see a post or see a job that I did, call me, and I'll be like, listen, I'm very expensive, and it has to be done my way. Like, I can't let you say you want 15 pot lights on the peak. It's got to be, I pick on your house, which a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, call somebody else.
Why do you think people are asking for all these stupid soffit lights?
I don't know. It's supposed to accent your house, the corners of your house. That's it.
It's not supposed to, like, all you need to do is put that white tarp on the driveway and have the guys carrying ET out of the house. That's all you need to do now with all that lighting, man.
But you do notice different regions have different.
Oh, I know, but it's just, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, what they figure that the ladder's up there already? Well, you're already fishing wire, so you're just fishing it through the soffit.
Yeah.
And might as well put another one here, another one here.
Let's hope they're doing it that way. I've seen some tucked. I've seen the tucked.
No, really?
There's always that lip.
Are they putting it on one circuit?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because what? They're calculating that they're LEDs, so there's only so much consumption going on?
I assume it's because they're not electricians. They don't know the rule. So
I didn't even think, when I do see it, mine are split 3 different switches, right? There's front, back, and side, right? And
if you put that on a Lutron Caseta system, you can have one switch controlling it all.
Control all. I'm not that rich. I'm not a Sparky.
It's $100.
Not a Sparky or a plumber or an HVAC.
You'd hate my house.
I can only imagine if you got a Kohler generator,
my wife's like, this house reminds me of being in an airport.
Is that right?
It can be.
Oh, you have the option to it.
Oh, yeah.
But you can dim everything.
My whole house is controlled on my server.
Yes.
I have full controllability and programming. Nice. So Christmas time, different lights compared to summer and spring and all that stuff.
They have those pot lights now that can change color, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot of money, and it's
if it works,
a bit of a waste for 1 month of the year.
I have a product that you can pick and choose your colors, but like a string of lights.
Oh, okay.
It's not pot lights. It's like Christmas lights.
Okay.
But they're in the actual soffit, so it's added onto the soffit. So when you don't use them, you don't see them.
Do you remember the 90s when everybody was putting garden lighting?
Yeah.
Everybody was big on garden lighting. Here's a bush here.
That's right.
I want to put a light here. Here's a tree here. I want a light here.
Mm-hmm.
But now nobody's putting garden lighting. Everyone's putting in the fucking soffits, man.
I beg to differ, actually.
There's still a lot of garden
landscape lighting.
Really?
Huge.
Like insane amounts?
Oh, the prices are insane.
They're waterproof fixtures.
It's crazy.
And first of all, people, you can't just run 14.2 outside.
No.
In the grass.
You know what? You're allowed to have NMU underground, black, rated, waterproof, Romex, 18 inches, I think it is, buried.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that. And I still don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that because the shovel can cut right through that.
Well, that and it'll deteriorate sooner or later.
Will it deteriorate?
Yeah. I mean, it just takes longer. It just
really?
takes longer, yeah.
But I'm talking about just regular 14.2.
Oh, no, you don't do that.
They just bury it or put it along the fence line.
The insulation on the wire is not rated.
As soon as sun touches it and it eats away at it every time, it's going to deteriorate.
Again, the way that I do things is over and above. And if people want to pay me for it, great. But I won't do it I won't do it their way. You know what I'm saying?
So, Carlo, kid coming into the industry, right to you?
Yeah.
Right, I wake up.
If I'm
school,
hiring, sure.
If you're hiring, but I mean, okay, when I say right to you, right to an established business.
Yeah.
With social media, there's lots of Sparkies online. You can see what they're talking about. You can see if you like them or dislike them.
All the applicants that apply, because I constantly get a feed of emails.
Yeah.
I tell them. I don't ignore them. I help them.
Where to go, how to do it.
Yeah. Go to Skill Trades College. Get some knowledge. If you have none.
Okay.
If you have that, if you have a construction father, then you have knowledge probably. Start asking around, start getting off your ass. Do not email and call. Get off your ass. Go in person, make some.
Come by the job site.
Yeah.
You think Skills Trades is good?
Skill Trades College?
Yeah.
They're good until they offered that we'll take over your payroll for you at a certain price. Remember the whole.
Wait, hang on. I think we're talking about two different things here. I'm talking about the Skills Trades College, which is a paid program.
Yeah.
10 grand for 3 months.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
they just changed their protocol.
To what?
So I used to want to take their students.
Okay.
And I would send them an email, and they would gladly, because they promise these students placements.
Okay.
So I would say, I need 2 guys, or I literally only hire 1 guy a year. All right. So I'll take 1 guy. So I needed a guy in September.
Okay.
And I said, okay, it's, I need a guy. Oh, we don't just give them to you anymore. What we do is, we send you a rate, we give you the guy, and if it doesn't work out, you can just send him back. You don't have to worry about layoffs, payroll, all that stuff.
Why am I smelling fish?
Thank you. So now,
what's all that about?
Follow the money.
That's not right.
No.
At all.
Yeah. So now I'm not using them.
I mean, I did the math on what they were doing.
It used to be just you need 10 guys to take 10 guys, and I gladly took them because they have some knowledge.
So why are they doing it's money?
Money. They told me the rates. I can find it on my phone and show you.
How are the rates? Bad? Stupid?
Union rates.
Really?
Yep.
For a new kid?
Yep.
A new kid that's just starting out?
Union apprenticeship rates.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, they take the top. They give him.
They're getting a piece of it.
That's right. But they're doing all the work. But
that's not right.
That's mine and yours opinion, right? We could be wrong, but I feel it's the same way that you do.
Yeah, that's not right.
No, I don't mind. I got, if he doesn't work out.
You need a guy. But I mean, eventually what you're going to do is you'll get kids that want to be Sparkies just reach out to you directly and maybe not even go that route.
That's actually what happened when I started calling my list that I kept.
Yeah.
One guy's like, you know what? I've been turned off from the trade, so don't worry about it. That's what he said to me.
Because of this bullshit?
Bullshit in general, like the way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want it, man, there's tons of opportunity.
There's lots of guys. This is what upsets me about the government and whatever they're not doing, because they don't really quantify how many kids get dismissed from the industry. So even though they're interested in being in it, being a tradesperson, they want to come in here, then they get this resistance at different levels. Then they're like being told you have to do this or do that. And there's like this piece of the pie is being taken off my cut and all this other shit. And then they're like, fuck this. I don't want anything to do with this. And then they leave. Then you lose somebody that could potentially be a part of the industry.
But that goes a little bit too because the kids are a lot more soft now.
That too.
Yeah.
That's contributing to it.
I think it's half-half.
Yeah.
It piles on.
Wow. What else do we want to touch upon, man?
Let's see.
Did we touch upon everything that you wanted to discuss?
Can't stand seeing panels in bathrooms.
Panels in bathrooms?
You don't see that in your
I've never seen a panel in a bathroom.
I've had to walk out a couple times.
Why do they? Well, they built the bathroom.
Yeah, after the fact, I guess.
Is it 3 feet away from the shower?
How about not being in the bathroom? Not allowed. Against code.
3 feet away from the shower is perfectly fine.
Yeah, just GFCI.
That's dangerous as hell, man.
I've seen it though.
That's dangerous.
I'm like, I can't. I get a service call, something tripped. Can you find out why? And I walk in there and be like, you have a panel in the bathroom. Call somebody else. And then the whole now they
get upset at you.
Oh yeah. I don't care.
You're telling them a factual safety issue and they get upset at you.
How about the whole mask thing? If you want to enter our house, you have to do A, B, and C. Okay.
You're still getting that?
Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Really? Huh?
Yeah. Can you please put it on? And I'm like, oh no.
Well, you're a business owner. It's your decision.
That's right.
So you can decide whether or not if you want to.
But I'm at the same time. Here's 3 contacts that will gladly take care of you.
Oh, you're still doing that?
Yes.
Well, good for you for doing that.
Oh yeah.
right?
I know the guys who I know who do good work. I definitely, when I'm booked solid, like I'm always booked solid. So if they can't wait, I'll give them the 3 contacts I have.
How's everybody finding you?
Work-wise?
Yeah. Is it word of mouth?
Yeah.
It's mostly word of mouth,
Yeah,
right?
it's just snowballs, man.
But you're working everywhere? Like, I mean, you're up in north area.
My guys are in Kenora right now.
Really, yeah?
Kenora, working our way back. So we have a UPS project. So I do a lot of data, servers, right? So I have one of my customers who's been my customer for like 18 years. And every year, maintenance.
On the data?
Across Ontario.
Oh, okay. Wow.
56 locations.
It's a good source of income.
It was.
Why?
COVID.
Oh, really, yeah?
Oh, you can't enter our buildings unless you're not now.
That old thing.
That old stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to call somebody else. That lasted about 3 months, and then they called back, and I said, well, my rates have risen now.
Because you got overhead.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of being a self-employed.
This is the reason why I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of people fell for it, though.
Well, a lot of people got pushed out, too, also for other reasons, right?
And you know what, though? It is what it is. If I got pushed out, so be it.
And then you started your business and went this way. Well, you've been working on your business anyway since then.
That's actually one of the reasons why I went more. I used to never do residential. I used to do like 90% commercial, 10% residential.
Yeah.
Since COVID, it's probably 70-30 now, which is to me a big difference.
So what's the landscape going to be in the next 10 years for you guys?
A lot of unskilled. Honestly?
Unskilled labor? Is that what you're going to say?
Not unskilled. I think they're going to break up the license.
In what way?
Panel installer.
Really?
Yeah. So right now it's broken up commercial, residential, industrial, linemen. I think they're going to break it up even more.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Because of what we have to deal with, I think it's a good thing.
Because you get specific people being better at specific things.
Yeah. Because I'm perfect example. I don't have a lot of experience with solar. I totally understand how to wire it up and do all that stuff, but I wouldn't be the guy that you should be hiring over a guy who only does solar.
Yeah, agreed.
And I'm a guy who does Kohler generators, but we have the same license.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to I think they should break it up.
But if they do break it up, they should still allow you guys to get more
the other licenses.
Yeah.
But it should be broken up. It's
not a bad
broad.
It's not a bad idea.
It's too broad.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's why I'll say I need a journeyman 309A license, and then he doesn't know how to bend pipe. Oh, because he's never done commercial. And that's not his fault.
No.
But he's got the same license. I got to pay
hours.
Mandatory ministry training rate.
Yeah.
I got to pay that rate, and he doesn't know how to bend pipe, and I need a pipe bender. So why don't you just make a pipe bending license? Have
they hinted at it?
No, but I've heard it.
Okay.
No, 20-some years doing this, talking to a lot of inspectors. I think, don't quote me, but I think a couple American states are doing that already.
So what's the division? It would be panel work. It'd be generators. It'd be solar. It'd be resi. Then you still have commercial. But would commercial be broken up too? It'd be for sure
definitely.
Broken up.
Way more than resi.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah, way more than resi. Emergency power systems. See, now data and tech. So I'm a tech geek.
Yeah.
My life before I became an electrician. So it's beautiful that it amalgamated into one another. So I get it right off the bat. But other guys, they have no idea. Home automation is, to me, I'm in heaven. Right? Control 4. That's like
it's a good system to learn to on, and then.
But that should be a separate license.
Yeah.
Home automation Control 4 system, like you do have to be licensed to install Control 4. But I'm just saying a license in general. If you want to do home automation, that should be a separate license.
Now, should the inspectors be split too as well?
No.
No, right?
They're honestly, man, this is why my attitude's changed. It's like I'm that little kid who hated them, but then when I grew up, I appreciated them. They are steady training, all the changes and the bulletins. And then every year, ESA contacts all the master electricians to give their inputs on what we think. And then if it's good enough, they apply it.
Got it.
Right? And it's just a one big thing of safety. And it's great. Because the electrical, what I taught, is nothing what it is now. It's so much better now.
I want to bring up a little touchy. You can shine some light on it if you want. Sure. You got somewhat semi-retired master electricians moonlighting their license.
Because the rule.
Sorry?
Because the rule.
They can do that.
Yeah. So up until 8 years ago, fire alarm companies didn't need a master electrical contracting license to run a fire alarm company. Okay. Now they do. So when they got the word, they started contacting master electricians saying, hey, are you using your license number for anything? And some guys would say no. And they'd be like, okay, do you mind? We'll pay you a fee. We'll attach your number to our company. And that's what's going to happen to internet and data.
Same thing.
It's going to happen. It hasn't happened. It's going to happen. Because there's already code for PoE cameras. And if you have a certain amount, I don't know what the number is for the bundle, which rightfully so. Because if you have that much, even if it's only 12 volts or 12 watts of power, you get a whole bundle and someone cuts into it. Well, you know, it matters. So
is it a bad thing or a good thing that they're allowed to moonlight their number?
Yeah, I understand the reasoning. You're getting his electrical knowledge into the company.
Yes.
And they're not supposed to pull a permit without his say-so.
Yes.
But what's happening is they're not letting him know what permits are pulling behind his back.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yes.
And he ends up losing his license because of defects. And that guy doesn't care. He just gets another sucker. That's what's happening with the rule.
That's the part that I don't like.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you broke it down, the licenses,
it'd be different then.
It would. But they do all have the option to start their apprenticeship and get trained in it.
I'm going to get a lot of emails.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We open up a lot of can of worms today, man.
Was it Green Book Talk? Sorry. Yeah. Green Book Talk. Portable lighting in hazardous locations. Right? Is that right? That's right. No, we didn't talk about this, did we? No, of course not. Portable lighting is essential for viewing work, but there are dangers associated, especially around hazardous or flammable materials. Explosions and/or fires may occur due to the combination of flammable atmosphere and improper use of heat-producing portable lighting. Keep in mind, ensure the light has been tested and approved by recognized agencies. Trouble lights are not intended to be permanent light sources. Use lights only in the locations and situations for which they are intended. Bulb surface temperature can reach or can approach 260 degrees Celsius and 500 Fahrenheit for your Americans. Trouble light components, connections, switches, etc. can cause electrical arcs and provide potential ignition sources near flammable liquids or vapors or fuel sources. Hazardous location flashlights are an excellent alternative to trouble lights. Why does the ECA always break my balls regarding the safety lights?
Because they're constantly changing. They went from halogen to
CFL. No, I know, but you got the bulbs, the string, you got the Christmas tree, and then you got to they start
CSA approved, right?
Yeah, well, no, they are, but they start busting your balls because you're not having enough of them in each room or whatever. You're trying to do a string of 50 or whatever it is. Is it 50 or is it?
Yes. Oh, I don't know the green code book for.
Yeah,
I guess there's a lumen output.
Well, no, there's a whole thing about how it has to be like you can, as GCs, we buy that 50 foot or the 100 foot 50 lights, right? And you try to make it last the whole floor or whatever, and then you have enough light. But maybe sometimes in certain areas it's not, and then they'll come in and go, well, this should be a little bit brighter in here and a little bit brighter here. It's like, come on, man. Like, we all got balls.
The good news is there's plenty of options to make brighter bulbs.
Yeah, you can do other routes, right?
We didn't have that options back in the day, right?
Carlo, Effect Electric Ltd. Carlo at effecteelectric.com and on Instagram, Effect Electric Ltd. You ready for the 12 questions, bro?
Oh, yeah. I think I wrote some of the answers down in case.
Oh, yeah. I ask them, you answer them. That's how it works.
Yeah, just in case. Go ahead.
What is your favorite construction word?
That's easy. Inspection passed.
What is your least favorite construction word?
Uh-oh.
What turns you on in construction?
The sounds of all the machines. Yeah.
What turns you off?
What did I write down here? Laziness.
Yeah. What is your favorite curse word?
Serenity now.
What is your favorite vehicle?
Bike.
Anything.
CBR 1000 RR.
What year?
All of them.
All the years?
All the years.
What is your least favorite?
I got to say the PT Cruiser. I always hated that thing.
In burgundy or whatever.
Whatever the goldish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank God you don't see them as much.
What the hell were they thinking when they designed that thing?
I'm not a fan.
It's just ugly. It's just ugly. What construction sound or noise do you love?
I guess it would be, what did I write here? Love? I don't know what I love. The sound?
Sound or noise? Sound or noise?
I don't know. Any tool, man.
Any tool?
I love it.
Well, you're a Makita guy, no?
Milwaukee.
It was going to be an M.
Sparky was red.
It's going to be an M. I'm sorry. It's going to be an M. What construction sound or noise do you hate?
You know the rotozip tool that the drywallers use?
Yeah.
Oh, that sound drives me nuts.
I just saw a video. Who's doing it? I can't remember. Someone was rotozipping soffits for
That's me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was your video.
Yes.
Wasn't that loud?
Oh, yeah. But for the split second that it takes, I can do that. I'm talking about on a job site all day. All day.
Oh, I can't do it. And it vibrates in your hand too, man. A little bit.
It's like cardboard, that soffit stuff, right?
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Probably attempt computer programmer.
You're up there already.
I was getting into it before I became an electrician.
Wow.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
That's easy. Gynecologist.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
You did good, kid.
That's it?
Yeah.
So, last words for everybody coming into the industry. What would you want to share?
Take it serious. It will kill you if you don't take it serious. And it's going to take a couple years, but it's needed.
That's valuable time.
Yeah, I don't think it's long enough.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
What happened to the guy at the start of the story?
He died. Overhead lines behind him, didn't see it.
As soon as he touched it?
The 10-foot skyjack went up, and he was in front at the controller and didn't realize he passed overhead lines. And when he went up, it snapped and touched the metal.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Yeah, first week.
That's harsh, man. Yeah. All right, Carlo. Thanks so much, man. Thanks so much for reaching out and getting on the show and sharing so much. I know.
You're going to get a lot of hate.
Not hate. I'm going to get a lot of people just sending me some messages.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, sure.
These are my opinions.
That's all.
You can hate me.
That's it, man. So everyone reach out. Carlo at effectelectric.com and on Instagram, Effect Electric Ltd. Thank you, Angelina. We out of here.